All right, and we're live. Um, let's slowly start our today's late night talk. And today we're having the late night DeFi format of this talk, which is, I think, by far is the most favorite for our listeners and for our chat participants. And I'm very happy to have today with me our amazing DeFi lead from Ton Foundation, but also Anastasia from the Parraton team, the winners of the Kyiv Bootcamp, of the Kyiv Open League Bootcamp. The guys, the folks, I'm gonna use the proper word here. The folks actually prepared a very interesting agenda for today about the taxes and the differences between TON and EVM ecosystems. So we have a very interesting plan for today. But first of all, I have to go through a couple of introduction things. So for those who don't know, we run our late night talks on the Data Society channel pretty much every day or every 2 days. So if you want to listen to more talks about DeFi and not only DeFi, just follow us in our social media. It's Ton Society everywhere. We're gonna have the SBTs for our today's late night talks. So if you want to claim a commemorative SBT, you can just find that in the comments in the Twitter thread or in the Telegram post. So it's gonna be super easy for you. You just find the link and you put there the name of our amazing co-host today, Parraton. Please check the spelling. The spelling is very important. I actually know that the Parraton's team had to change the spelling because of how people were pronouncing it and how people were texting it on the chat. So be attentive to that. And share this space, share this Twitter live stream, Telegram live stream, YouTube stream with your friends if you find this interesting. Join us for the next late night talks. And now I want to give the space, the stage for my amazing co-host today to give a quick intro. Vlad, do you want to start? I see you already muted yourself, but that's for you.
Unmuted it. So, how you see I should start? Briefly about me, but I already did it on several late night talks before. Or
what if someone is listening to us first time?
Agree. So, my name is Vlad. I'm a Degen. I'm full skin in the game. It means that I only have maybe 5K in cash. Everything else in crypto and DeFi and in the farming strategies. So since 2019, we developed DeFi applications, different ones on different chains. Since 2017, I'm in crypto like enthusiast and buyer. Those time it was the Bitcoin Talk Forum when I been one of the attendees of the ICOs. I translated the white papers. That's how I start learning some things from crypto. And we sell some profiles there. Then from 2019, we developed IMM protocols, wallets, lending protocols, perpetual DEXs, bridges, and since the DeFi summer, it's like 2020, I totally understand what the DeFi means. For me, the DeFi is peak or a top of the world's financial spire. So by contributing in all of this, I feel like I do some small changes in our world economy.
And you can pass the mic to Sassy, or I can do that. Actually, that's your perfect spot in this live stream to say how do you like to be called Stasi, Anastasia, which is your nickname that you go by?
I actually prefer Stasi. It's easier to pronounce, I think, for many people. So I would prefer to be called Stasi. And I usually use this nickname for any platform I register. So it's easier to find myself by Stasi.
And that's the
So,
cutest thing. I really like it.
could you tell more about yourself and about the Parraton and the hackathons?
Yeah, sure.
Short introduction.
Yeah, so I developed different DeFi protocols on non-EVM chain for the last more than 5 years, I think. I did things similar to Uniswap V2, concentrated liquidity, bridges, lending protocols, and some other things like farms or whatever. Most of it was on Tezos, if you ever heard about this chain. And I also enjoyed giving public speeches about technical topics, do some workshops, participate in Twitter spaces, and I actually like to educate people. And recently, we decided to participate in Ton Hackathon with a product called Parraton. We actually do yield optimizer, or if you want reinvestment tool, or if you want compound after compound for Ton. We are a Kyiv finance on Ton, and we become one of the finalists, and we continue building this project. And I think you will see us on mainnet soon. And today I thought we can talk about the difference between EVM and Ton chains and how it impacts basic DeFi mechanics and basic DeFi protocols, how they are built and how they are different on EVM and on Ton. And I actually prepared some kind of give me a second, I will share the screen. I prepared.
So this is going to be some kind of election here.
Yeah, exactly. Can you hear? Can you see my screen, right?
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. So I did homework. Yeah, I did my homework, and I prepared the comparison in this kind of diagram. But yeah, I think you can be frustrated by what it's here.
It should be kind of the disclaimer before we start. So guys, please take 1 minute, make yourself a cup of tea, sit comfortable, and there's gonna be the DeFi educational lection, and there's gonna be much more than I expected, and yeah, so that might be impressive. We should record this.
This is streamed on YouTube, Twitter, Telegram, and for everyone that's watching us in recording, as you noticed, we do have the recording. So if you're watching this in the recording, please make sure to share because Xasi did a large work on this. And the important disclaimer here is it's a non-financial advice. We are simply educating here. Do your own research. Do more research than this. Join us for our next late night DeFi's to learn more, and make sure to always analyze everything yourself and dig deeper because that's what crypto is about. Learning, testing new strategies, and always being up to date. That's very important to understand that we are not endorsing anything in particular. We're here to share more information solely for the education purposes, for the overview purposes. And I love this. This is by far my most favorite format of the talks, having the diagrams. Maybe I'm just a nerd for the diagrams and like schemes, but I think out of three of us, we have like 100%. We have the statistic that 100% people like the diagrams and schemes. I know that Vlad also has done the streams with the diagrams and descriptions and sketching the explanations. So I'm very excited for this. I'm gonna give the stage back to you guys for this amazing lecture to start.
Yeah. Thank you for adding this information. Actually, I think we can, to understand what to expect from this lecture, we can look at this small, checklist of building blocks that we're going to consider during today's lecture. We will look at smart contracts, at wallets, at transaction, at messages, at Gtons or tokens, at DDoS DEX, and how DDoS DEX and how DDoS farm work, and how reinvestment tool works on TON, on EVM. We'll compare them. And I think we'll start with a simple thing. The thing is, for many users, the entry point to the ecosystem is actually the wallet. So many users start their journey by creating an account on both EVM and TON chains. And these accounts are different. The thing is, when you create an account on EVM chain, you usually use MetaMask or as a wallet that generates the keys for you and calculates your address. And this account that is created for you is externally owned account, and the only condition to access your funds is to provide the correct signature for your transaction, for what you want to execute. And another important difference between EVM and TON is that on EVM, you can only send one transaction at a time from one account. And last but not least, the address of your account is calculated as a hash of the public keys that were generated by the wallet for you. If we look at the same concept but on TON, we're going to spot some differences. First, yes, you again start with generating key pair and calculating the address for you. But the account that is created for you is actually a smart contract, which has state, code, and balance. And if you do not have tons or on your balance, your account won't be active and it won't be possible to use it. And the conditions to access your funds on the smart contract can be different. Normally it's signature check, but technically it could be anything since it's smart contract and the logic is inside the smart contract. Theoretically, if you want, I don't know, to create some wallet where you will check the name of your pet, it's theoretically possible. It's pointless, but it's possible because the wallet is a smart contract. There are different versions of the wallet on TON. The most popular are V3 and V4. And if you open TON Keeper, I'm not sure that you will. Can you see that when I open the extension?
No, I guess.
Okay, so that was my bad, the way I shared the screen. So I will just show you. In TON Keeper, and bring it to the board. On TON Keeper, when you go to the settings, you can see your current version of the wallet. So just if you wondered which one you use, you can always see it in the settings because they are different. And if you switch the active address, you will get another address of your wallet. And it happens because the address of the wallet is calculated as work chain ID and hash of the code of your wallet and the initial state of your wallet. So that's the difference between how the wallets work on TON and on EVM. And I think Vlad could help me a little bit to be clear if he asks some questions so that for the audience it could be even more understandable. So if there is any questions, just stop me and ask anything to make it clear for the audience. And
yeah, you can go ahead, but maybe you can explain it in a bit more different way, like more simpler with the black boxes to show like the differences and the features which have the TVM and the EVM based on the architecture.
I think we will see it a bit later. I'm more talking about smart contracts and wallets because we will look at the difference in depth just a moment later. Sorry. Okay, and one more thing that I can add probably about the wallets is that on TON you can have batch transactions, so you can send up to 4 messages at the same time in one transaction to make them executed. unlike on EVM. And for example, on EVM, when you want to send to execute something, to do something with DeFi, you usually need to approve the token and then do the swap. If there would be a similar situation on Ton, you could do it by signing one transaction. But as we will see later, there is no such thing as approval on Ton. So yeah. So let's move on to the next thing. Let's imagine we wanna transfer native token on Ton to some other address, and we will do the same on EVM and see how it is different on both chains. Let's try this one. Okay, so what happens to do the transfer? First of all, we need to sign and broadcast transaction, and we will look at what each of these words actually mean. If you look at the transaction, it's actually the node that describes what the user wants to execute. It could be transfer of ETH, it could be transfer of the token, or it could be the swap, it could be minting some NFT, whatever. That's what the user wants to execute. And on EVM, transactions are atomic. So if something in transaction happens, goes wrong, so the whole transaction will be reverted. For example, if we have some swap and we wanna, let's say, swap ETH to USDT and USDT to UNI, if something happens with swap ETH to USDT or USDT to UNI, if any of these actions fails, the whole transaction will be reverted. Unlike on Ton, as we will see later. The second thing is signing. As we can see, we need to sign the transactions that we prepared, and we use the key pairs that our wallet generated. And there is some crypto magic. We do not care about it right now, which does the signing of the transaction for us. And once we have the signed transaction, we can broadcast it to the network. Validators will see it, and they will check that the structure of the transaction is correct and the signature is correct, and it will execute the transaction. In our case, when we send the transaction, the balance of the user who sent it will be decreased, and the balance of the user who receives this transaction will be increased. Meanwhile, if you look at the same case on Ton, we also...
Can I interrupt you for...
Yes.
I want to mention, so I checked in the comments, and this was the first question, why we speak English, because there's a lot of audience from different countries here, so we can only unify it to speak English. That's the first one. The second one, there's more educational lection about the architecture and how, like, from what parts the blockchain and the protocols built on the blockchain are consist. And the thing is that it's necessary to know for the builders and even for the users. The thing is, guys, you if you want to go to crypto, if you want to participate in a DeFi, you're definitely taking more responsibility on your side from all of these financial tools and from the wallets. So that's not like your usual banking application when you can write just a ticket to support and say, oh, I'm sorry, I lost my, I don't know, phone or something else. Could you give me my money back? There's no possible such things in DeFi here. So the only way is to take more responsibility on you. And the only way to do this is to understand how it works. And that's a thing, and that's a crucial thing, which we explain in here. And for a meanwhile, we have a lection from a builder who already built something on Ton. And I advise you to try to understand it, try to ask the questions and comments regarding the content. So, Stasi, you can go ahead.
Sure, thank you. And actually, I want to note that we are trying to explain it in very simple terms. So the concept that we will describe here is very simplified compared to what happens indeed. So I hope it will be clear for at least half of the audience. So if we go to the ton and recall that our goal is to send ton to the other address, we also need to sign and broadcast the transaction, but we will sign and broadcast external message. And what is external message? It's actually, again, the node that describes what you want to execute, but that's the type of the messages on ton. The thing is, the way the smart contracts communicate with each other, or the way the smart contracts receive instructions, is done by messages. And there are three types of messages. First one is external messages, which the messages that are sent from nowhere, like those that we sign on the wallet. Then there are internal messages, those messages that are sent from one smart contract to another smart contract. And third, these are events, the messages that are sent from the smart contract to nowhere. And in order to trigger something on chain, we need to send external message to some smart contract so the chain of the messages can be executed. The other difference between accept terms is that transaction on ton consists of different messages. Look at this diagram, we can see that external message can trigger execution of other messages, and we will have such transaction or messages tree that is executed in scope of one transaction. For example, if we would do like some kind of swap, split to different chains of exchanges, we could see such case. So we would send external message to our wallet, and then generate a couple of other internal messages that try to initiate other internal messages and other internal messages, and so on. So the whole transaction on ton can consist of different messages. And one important thing is, since the nature of ton is I think there we do not know the exact what will be the exact order of these messages. So if our external message that we send generates two internal messages, we are not sure about the order of the messages that they create. We are not sure which one of these three messages is going to be first, which one going to be third, and what is the time difference between, let's say, this event and this internal message. So the order of the messages is not guaranteed in terms of messages that are included in the transaction. We only know that external message was earlier than the messages it triggered, and we know that this message that triggered the next message were earlier than this message. Another thing is that transactions are not atomic. Unlike on EVM, as we saw before, if something happens in one of the messages and it will be reverted, it won't affect the other messages. So let's say we had such structure. If this message fails first, the other messages will continue execution. And one of the side effects is that, for example, if we do multi-hop swaps, it can be partially executed. So, for example, if we would, let's say, swap ton to USDT to scale, if USDT to scale fails, let's say it's this internal message, our previous swap, USDT ton to USDT, will still be executed, and you will end up with USDT on your balance. The only thing that can happen in this case, that the address that initiated this transaction will receive the notifications that something happened wrong. And if the developers cared about it, then some extra logic can be done. But normally, you will just end up with in the middle result. Yeah.
So to summarize it, if someone want to build 1 inch, like 1 inch application was different roads to swap your amounts of tokens through the different roads. So with multi-path, that's the thing that you can receive the middle tokens, but not the final one. And there's one of the from the one side, one of the differences here, and from the other side, this asynchronic way of the blockchain give it the ability to scale it. So that's the thing that developers, the builders, should take into account by creating the architecture of their protocols.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for clarifying it or saying it in simpler terms. All right. As for the broadcasting, that is pretty much the same. Once we sign the transaction or external message, we broadcast it to the node. And once it's its order to execute this transaction, validator passes this external message to the smart contract, to the wallet smart contract, which we discussed here. And this smart contract executes some pre-checks. He checks the signature, he checks signal, which is similar seen to nonce on EVM, and sends these internal messages to outside contracts. In our example, we tried to send some tokens. So it could be illustrated as this. The wallet receives external message. He sends internal message to another wallet, attaching some token to it. I actually wanted to show you it on Explorer, so you can maybe consider doing it by yourself later. But for this, I need to reshare the screen because I can only share one tab right now. So give me a second.
While Xas is sharing the screen, I have to jump in here to say that first of all, the SBT link is already posted. So if you want to have an SBT, please go and find the link. But second of all, I invite all of you guys to check the Parraton app that Xas's team is building, because if you feel like this explanation is super complex and that's something new for you, 100% the Parraton tool will be fun and interesting to try for you specifically, because that's the tool that simplifies all of these things, and that's the tool that lets you interact with a fun and easy UI instead of diving deeper into the DEXs and transactions and blockchains. But to use Parraton tool and to use any of the apps that are doing something with your money, you actually need to understand what's going behind the scenes. And that's why I really love the space today, that we are getting the deep dive into understanding why Parraton even exists in the first place. So maybe, Xasi, if you have any of this any of these small explanations to drop in, that will be super fun to just highlight where Parraton is implementing the innovative ways that really help to navigate within the DeFi.
Sure. We will do it later. Thank you. All right. I actually wanted to show you on the Explorer, which is called Tom Viewer, one of the regular transfers. And you can see that it is triggered or initiated by the external in message with a signature, with some horrible things here or horrifying things here. And then we can see internal message that actually sends the funds to the receiver. And that's pretty much it for the regular transfer. And the other thing that users usually do with the wallet, they transfer tokens to other accounts. And the standards on TON and on EVM are different. So we will look at them too. So let's imagine we want to transfer some tokens on our EVM wallet and on our TON wallet. I will quickly highlight it for our case. All right. And on EVM, we know we have some standard for the token, which is called ERC20, and that is a smart contract, which implements some interface. One of the things that users can do is transfer from, and approve. Transfer, it means that he can transfer tokens from his own account to someone else's account. Approve, let other people to spend some amount of tokens by other person. And third, transfer from does exactly that. The other person can call it to spend the tokens from user's account to transfer them to somewhere else. And when user wants, and also the contract stores total supply of the token, decimals, some metadata, and balances of all the users that hold the tokens. It's kind of like a table, I would say, where there is a record, the key and the value pairs, which says that some user has some balance. And when user wants to do the transfer, he says who is receiver, what amount he wants to transfer, and it is updated inside of the balances. And if user wants to send the tokens to other account, he just does approval. When a user wants that some other account to transfer tokens, he does the approval. For example, it's used for DEXs in most of the DeFi. Here, the user first approves some spending limit for the other contract, and then they executes the action where this DEX or lending protocol just charges this amount from the user. That's like recap for ERC20. When we come to the ton, the standard for the token is different due to two things. First, the data structure on ton is kind of different. So we cannot store balances on one contract because it will be expensive. And the second thing is that transactions are async. So it limits us on some interactions. So the standard on ton is different, and it's actually not one smart contract, but it's a system of smart contracts. First one is Gton master, which holds the metadata and the information about the token, like symbol, image, and decimals and other things. And it usually has some other methods such as mint or burn notifications that we will consider later. And then when user wants to have some tokens or receive some tokens, he has the separate smart contract for it, especially for this user, which is called Gton wallet. And only user does the transfer from this wallet. The wallet does not have approval methods, so the transfer can only be initiated by the wallet's owner. And the wallet itself holds the information about the owner, Gton master, and its own balance. So basically, every single wallet is responsible for its own balance and information about is responsible for the transfers. So when user wants to do the transfer, he interacts with his own wallet. He says the receiver, the amount he wants to send to the other account, and the Gton wallet, using this information inside of the wallet, can calculate the wallet address of the receiver and send another notification like, hey, bro, I send you some tokens. So the Gton wallet that receives this information can understand the transfer was done and can upgrade its own balance. It can also be extended by one simple thing, which is used instead of approvals on the tokens. It's forward payloads. Give me a second. When user does the transfer, he can ask to notify about this transfer some other account. And this principle is often used by DEXs, lending protocols, and other things that are built on Ton, just instead of this approvals mechanics. So user sends assets prior doing that transaction, prior asking to do some DeFi action. Yep. And also when we do the mint, this is usually initiated by the admin and goes through Jeton master, so that's how tokens appear on Jeton wallet of the user initially. Yep. I think that's kind of it for the token part. Maybe Vlad can ask some questions.
To be honest, I would love to listen also as Helen about the Parraton and the technology behind it and how it works. For the Jetons, I think it's pretty good explanation. And maybe the only one question here is how you see the features of the Jetons with compared to other standards. And once I heard from you the thing that you really enjoy to develop something on Ton with compared to other chains. So why? And what's the differences? What's the features you felt?
Well, that's interesting question. I think I love it in terms that as a developer, you control a lot of things. Like you basically control the gas, you control the way the messages are processed. So it's more low level than, let's say, Solidity. That's probably why I love it more. But in general, it's way harder to then develop on EVM. That's why I think it's a blocker for many developers to start work with Ton and development on Ton.
You mean it's from the development tools or from the architecture and the syntax of the language?
No, I mean, you have to understand in depth how it works. So that's a blocker, I think. So you need to understand, let's say, what type of messages exist, like what type of message flags you have to use. And I think the standards are different and they are more complicated, so you have to work with them. Yeah, I think it's just harder, no?
I have a couple of interesting questions on the comments, so I'll just take the part here for the questions from the chats. One of the interesting questions, besides the questions about the SBTs and everything, is about the is about the transferring the project to Web3 from Web2. This is a bit of a side topic, so I'll just say that for the deployment of the Web2 project on the Web3 project, it's super important to consider like what's the type of the project. So it's very, very different for all of those different projects. And if you're looking for any type of support with this, and if you're looking for more mentorship on how to properly deploy your Web2 project to Web3, there is a couple of different ways, and I'm just going to promote the initiative that I'm personally working on. So something that we are now launching here at Ton. We're doing the Builders Growth Program. So what's this program about? It's basically the program that we are going to be running for those builders that are looking to deploy and launch their projects on Ton. So if you want to launch your project on Ton, you should just join our Builders Club program. You should just go there and find the community of those people that are actually launching their projects as well, and get the workshops about how is that done in the reality, what are the specifics about launching in the blockchain, in Web3, what are the specifics about decentralized projects, how you do the technical things, how you do the marketing. All of those are going to be included into the program, and you should just look out for the announcement because I'm going to do that very soon. We are right now onboarding only hackathon participants. So, for example, Xasi as a hackathon participant already can get onboarded. But if you are not a hackathon participant, you're going to be onboarded a bit later once we are exclusively done with our hackathon hackers. So that's the side question part. But then we have the question. We have rather a comment that says people don't care about the technicalities and the things behind the UI and UX. They only care about the appearance, not about the technology, which I think is kind of a nice philosophical question to drop in here. Stasi, what do you think? Do people care about technology now?
I think it's fair enough. I think many people just do not care how something works. So yeah, if you talk about just general user, they really do not care what happens under the hood. They want to see great IPRs, APYs, and just push big red button money, and that's it.
Well, that's what we're trying to change, I think, and overall, that's something that crypto is kind of fighting through the whole existence of crypto, trying to bring more attention to the technology, to the vision behind. But that's probably more or less the balance of both both the aim of having good UI and the UX, and also the technicalities and technology and decentralization.
I have a joke behind it. Like, if you don't care about the technical side there, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna trying to reach the support in a DeFi chat. Like, hey, I lost my money, and you receive the feedback from there. You receive even more than 5 or 10 messages from a different support employees of the protocol. But then after you're gonna send them your seed phrase, you lose the money. So this is it.
I kind of think that getting scammed in crypto is the best.
Is a way to educate yourself, yeah.
That's what at least motivates you. I think maybe that's some challenge. That's some quest to think about. Get scammed in crypto to understand how crypto works. Like, that was how I actually learned about the approvals. I knew that approvals were a thing before I got scammed, but I felt like it was kind of just passing by me. I didn't feel that I was particularly involved into this whole approvals revoke things. I don't know, it was just so nerdy coded for me that I never actually paid attention, and then I got scammed for the 300 USDTs that were part of my hackathon prize. I was so disappointed and sad that I read everything about that, and I have 0 approvals on my wallet. I do pay the approvals fee every time. I revoke that all after every single transaction.
Stasi, what do you think the regular ways how the scammers do their job on EVM? Does it work on TVM with all of the things like approvals or signing message requests and etc.?
Yeah, awesome question. I think it works pretty much the same way. Since people never care how it works under the hood, they just sign the transaction and send money anywhere, but not where they expected. So I think on Ton it's even easier to scam people because I think it's even harder for the users to understand what's happening. So it's easier for the hackers, for the scammers to just.
And that's one of the purposes why we're doing such educational lections here. So,
and that's literally one of the comments. The comments, I just put it on the screen because it's so funny. It says, if hackers or scammers are watching, this would be a great information for them.
Like the whole information would be great for them, and that's not depends on what we're saying.
I don't think the scammers really need like too much efforts to do. I did not need to put a lot of efforts to just scam people, because like there is very old approaches, like when you, as you mentioned, just send people messages on Telegram and ask their mnemonics.
There's mostly social engineering scams. So
Guys, can you imagine? I've recently been added to the chat. This is one of my best beats for the stand up about crypto. Over the past couple of months, I was added to the chat on Telegram, which was called "All of the scam schemes for scamming people on blockchain," and there were like 4 literal tutorials on how you deploy a honeypot. Like, I swear, and it's like scamming 101. It like says, deploy the token that people won't that people will buy and won't sell.
Helen, now someone in the chat in the comments ask you to send the link.
I swear. And it says, and it's like, and you open and it's like a Telegraph article which just goes step by step on every single point, including the GTM, the promotion, the shitting on the chats, like
I'm
how
scared that you're so exciting in this talk about.
yes, because this is the mass adoption. Like, if you thought that mass adoption was about the dexes, or I don't know, no, the mass adoption was about Iggy Azalea and scam tutorials on Telegram, and that was my personal account that was added there, and I use my personal account for chats like Ukrainians in Dubai. It's a very different audience out there, and they're
Okay.
adding that audience to know about the scam schemes.
So I guess like I think we don't have like too much time here. Maybe we can go forward with explanation. What is the Parraton?
Yeah,
How
sure.
it will be beneficial for the Tonica system, and well, what's about this product? This also was a question in the comments. Like, what about this?
So the thing is, if we quickly go here, the thing is, many farms distribute rewards proportionally to the user share in the farm, and that is kind of crucial. Actually, yeah, I should say that there are farms and there are boosts on Boston and EVM, and usually rewards in these farms are proportional to the user share in the farm. So how many tokens they put into this farm compared to the total amount of the all users deposit in the farm. And the way to increase the rewards is by increasing users deposit in the farm, right? So one of the ways to do it is by reinvesting the rewards that user receives during some time back.
I saw in your Excalibur draw there was a picture with a farm with BTC, no, on the left side of the screen.
I don't think so. With BTC, no.
No, hold on, left.
Left? Okay.
Left and down. What is it? Is a pool?
Well, I thought I will explain a bit how DEXs work, how farms work, but I think we won't have time. So there is nothing about BTC here.
Okay. So maybe like a short explanation how the farms works, and from that we can go to the Parraton.
Okay, so on EVM chains, it usually works as following. Users deposit their tokens to the specific smart contracts, and they receive shares for that, like
It's LP
it doesn't
tokens.
happen.
It's LP tokens.
Yeah, they deposit LP tokens and they receive tokens that represent their share in the farm. So actually, in this system, 2 tokens are involved. LP tokens from the DEXs, right? And when they deposit these assets to the farm, they receive shares or tokens that represents user share in the farm. So it usually like 2 tokens in this system, right? On DDoS, it works a bit different way, because on DDoS, rewards are distributed first for all LP providers, and there is no extra action that is needed for it. And second, rewards are distributed in centralized way. So there is just specific black box, smart contract, where there is a bot that says how much rewards each user can receive, and the user must prove that he is entitled for these rewards. So that is that on the Dust it works on decentralized way, not on the in centralized way, not entirely on smart contracts. But in both cases, rewards are proportional to the user's share in the farm. The more they deposit, the more rewards they receive. And one of the ways to increase rewards is by reinvesting rewards back to the farm. It's compound interest. It's a super old thing that existed years before, so nothing special here. And that's
So
what.
let's maybe be a bit more clear here. If you invest $100 to some, I don't know, opportunity from your bank application, you're gonna earn, for example, 10% a year. The thing is that after the half of the year, you're gonna have the half of your yearly earnings. That's logical, yeah. So if it's 10% during the 6 months, during the whole year, you're gonna earn more $10. During the 6 months, you're gonna earn $5. And if you gonna put this $5 in the body of your deposit, and if you're gonna do this every month, for example, totally in the end of the year, you're gonna have more than $10 in earnings. So that's how the complex percentage works, or auto compounding works.
Yep.
Yeah. So just to make it more clear.
All right, thank you. And so we use these compound percentages, as you mentioned, in our Parraton. So basically what we do, when user deposits his LP tokens to our smart contract, we receive his rewards, and we buy some tokens for some tokens that he deposited, and reinvest them back to the farm. So let's say, if we look at the example with ton USDT, in that farm, the boosts are in ton. So we spend half of the rewards that user receives for USDT. We take this USDT plus half of the ton that left, and we reinvest them back to the Dust pool, so the user's share in the pool becomes bigger, and so he receives more rewards due to this mechanics.
Okay. So if the APR on the major pool ton USDT gonna be like 60% a year, what might be the APY with data compounding, which we can get by using such protocols for reinvesting and auto compounding?
Well, I cannot count it in my head, to be honest.
You can share the screen and type in Google APR to APY calculator.
Yeah, let's try APR to APY. I think I even have such request in my history. Yep. I actually think, yeah, let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, let's say 60%. Let's try. So if we compound monthly, but in our case, it's going to be daily. Let's see what's going to be here. Okay, it's going to be 82%.
So it may make us from 60 82%. Okay. Does it have any differences if we're gonna compound like hourly, maybe, or every second?
Yeah, it is gonna be difference, but the problem is that we still need to pay some network fees when we do the stake. It's gonna be around 0.7 ton per each reinvestment, and we saw that once per day is probably good enough for our case, because we need to.
If you put monthly, how much it will be?
It's gonna be smaller amount because we do it less regularly. So 70.
79. So there's not a big difference, like from daily to monthly, from 82 to 79.
Probably, yeah, but still, it's better to receive more bigger APY than smaller, right? Especially if we do not know, especially if the APR changes from time to time. Maybe one day it will be 60%, another day it's going to be 40%. It's another day it's going to be 120%. So it's better to do it more regularly.
Okay. I also have a few tricky questions for you. So, for example, if this product may exist, and maybe Helen come back to us, we just now gonna talk. So the question is, this product is mostly based on the incentivization from the farming pools, and there's not it not taken into account the basic reward from the farming pool, from the trading fees, because this reward just distributed inside of the farming pool already. So we are only expecting the incentivization.
Yeah, exactly, boosts.
Yes, and there's a question: what if there will be no boosts?
That's a good question. Yeah. Then we could consider reinvesting fees, but normally it does not make any sense because
We already
fees.
reinvested.
Yeah, fees are already reinvested. So the thing is, we can build more complex strategies. We can consider maybe some hedging strategies, build not using the dust, but let's say Storm or whatever. So we can consider more complex strategies for our protocol rather than just reinvesting rewards.
Does it possible to make any complex strategy for now with current on-chain map of the products?
I think it's hard. Yeah, I think it's hard for now.
What if we're gonna, for example, invest in some liquidity pool, and in the same way, from the part of our deposit, we're gonna make a hedge on Storm trade?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure that the percentage that they will cover that they will really hedge.
Yes,
So that's why I'm not sure.
Okay. What about any thoughts about the leverage yield farming?
That could be meaningful, but we still need more earning opportunities. If you talk about the hypothetical case that you mentioned, when there are going to be no boosts, then leverage yield farming is going to be less profitable and less meaningful on Ton if there are no boosts. But we can, yeah, that's the case.
Okay.
I think we need just to see more products on Ton similar to EVM, and then there's still going to be more strategies to build.
I totally agree with you. That's one of the parts of my job. So maybe you want to add something else regarding the Parraton or the Ton ecosystem or some technical stuff here.
And while you're thinking about that, we have the first positive comment about today's stream. Congrats, guys. It seems we've done a great job because we have two nice things on the chat. I'm very happy about that. But I'm very happy about the rest of the comments as well.
Okay, so that's one of our late night talks with the winners of the bootcamps and the finalists of the hackathon, especially for the DeFi part. That was a really huge and a great job done by the teams around, because we had vaults, index vaults, we had leverage yield farming also, we had options, we had it's kind of poly market, the bets on the price. Also, we had the router there, like 1 inch, and we're gonna continue. Also, we have stable swap there, and we have the tokenization of yield, like Pendle Finance. And we continue to speak and to grow all of these protocols. This, of course, depends on the teams and the abilities of the teams. But in general, the Ton ecosystem and the Ton DeFi ecosystem are really interested in the new protocols. So, guys, we need you. We need you. I don't know, Helen, you want to add something else?
That was already the inspirational talk that I usually ask my co-hosts to give. So, Stasi, if you have anything inspirational to share with our listeners, I would love to have that, because that's my most favorite way to end the late night talks.
Sure. I think that Ton is now on the early stage, and many other amazing projects are going to be built, so that we will see the ecosystem boosting and becoming bigger and more interesting for the users, and we're going to see more opportunities in terms of DeFi.
Thank you. I'm adding a bit more nice comments for today's late night talk to end it on the positive note. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for preparing an extensive deep dive. That was super cool. And I'm very happy that this stream will be saved on our social media, and we can then refer to it when we want to share more information on some particular things. Well, I have to say something like the closing marketing talk. Follow us on social media, repost this late night talk, follow Parraton, and join our next hackathons to be like Parraton, to be as smart and as inspirational and as cool. And thank you so much for everyone that was with us today.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter too.
Oh, definitely. I tagged Vlad Degen. You see, I took my responsibility and tagged Vlad Degen. The username is basically the same as it's written here on the stream, so it's super easy. All right. See you next time.